Alright cultivators squad, buckle up, because this chapter starts with tension so thick you could slice it with a rusty flying sword. So picture the scene. Lin Kaior suddenly realizes something terrifying. She stares at Qin Chen and blurts out that shocked line, "You knew about it? You knew all along?" And Qin Chen, this absolute menace, just smirks. Not nervous, not defensive. Just that calm little smile of someone with peak main character energy. Then he drops the coldest response imaginable. "Yeah, exactly. In other words, yes, I knew. Yes, I brought it with me. And yes, you all walked straight into the trap like NPCs. Caught in 4K. Lin Kaior's brain basically blue screens at this point. Her first thought is that Qin Chen deliberately lured them here just to wipe them all out. And Qin Chen doesn't even bother denying it. Meanwhile, Lin Yusheng starts laughing like a villain who still thinks he's the boss of the lobby. He mocks Qin Chen, saying that killing Ling Kun must have made him think he's invincible. Bro really said that 5 seconds before everything goes horribly wrong. Lin Yusheng immediately orders the 2 clan elders to capture Qin Chen alive. Not kill him, capture him. But Lin Kaior is even more savage. She wants Qin Chen's eyes gouged out so he can suffer slowly. She starts listing off all the accusations, insulting Fei Fei, spying, betraying Sister Chu, basically painting Qin Chen as public enemy number 1. At this point, Qin Chen is done being patient. His killing intent finally wakes up. See, earlier, he didn't even want to bother with Lin Kaior. In his mind, she's just an annoying side character. But when someone keeps poking the tiger over and over, eventually the tiger stops pretending to be a house cat. Qin Chen raises his hand and a wooden stick appears. Yo, Aste. No glowing artifact, no legendary weapon, just a plain wooden rod. If you're new to cultivation stories, you might be thinking, wait, that's it? But here's the twist. This stick isn't ordinary. Back in his past life, Qin Chen was the legendary 9 Nether Great Emperor. When someone that powerful holds an object for thousands of years, even a random stick starts absorbing spiritual energy. It develops spirit, presence, power. Basically the cultivation equivalent of when your grandpa's old sandal somehow becomes a weapon of mass destruction. So Qin Chen casually tosses the wooden stick forward. No flashy movement, no dramatic pose. But the moment Lin Kaiyuan and Lin Kaisheng move to attack, they immediately feel something terrifying. They can't dodge. It's like the attack has locked onto them. Their instincts scream that defense is impossible, so they draw their weapons instantly. One uses a thin blade, the other a flexible sword. Their coordination is flawless. Clearly, these 2 elders have fought together for years. Their plan is simple. If defense is impossible, then attack with everything. Kill Qin Chen before his move lands. Yeah, about that plan. Play! The wooden stick collides with the blade and instantly Lin Kaiyuan's face changes. Blood sprays from his mouth. He staggers backward in disbelief. Then he shouts something that makes everyone freeze. This kid's strength is strange, more than twice mine. Now remember, Lin Kaiyuan is at the 8-gate Jing Gate stage. His strength equals 100 horses. And Qin Chen? He just reached the 7-gate Death Gate stage. By all logic, Qin Chen should be weaker. But cultivation logic just got yeeted out the window. Lin Yusheng and Lin Kaior are completely stunned. Double the strength. Lin Yusheng immediately blames the formation earlier. If Qin Chen hadn't been trapped there, he supposedly wouldn't have broken through. Yeah, keep telling yourself that, bro. Meanwhile, Lin Kaisheng starts watching Qin Chen carefully. The vibe has completely changed. The arrogance is gone. But Lin Kaior refuses to accept reality. She orders everyone to attack together. More than 10 martial artists rush forward. 6-gate cultivators, 7-gate cultivators. From their perspective, numbers equal victory. Qin Chen just laughs. Oh, you think having more people means you win? Big mistake. He steps forward like he's walking through his own backyard. The wooden stick spins in his hand, smashing directly into blades and swords. The weapons strike it again and again, not a single scratch. One guard gets his arm smashed and the bone shatters instantly. Another 7-gate fighter gets 3 teeth knocked out in 1 hit. Qin Chen moves through the battlefield like he's speedrunning a tutorial level. Every strike is brutal, efficient, no wasted motion. Bodies start dropping everywhere. Within moments, the entire group collapses. They couldn't even slow him down. At this point, Elder Lin Kaiyuan swallows a medicinal pill and shouts toward Lin Yusheng and Lin Kaior. But he admits the truth. They are not Qin Chen's opponents. If they stay, everyone will die. So Lin Yusheng and Lin Kaior finally panic. They turn and try to escape. But Qin Chen suddenly appears in front of them, like he teleported. You're running? Nobody leaves today. Lin Yusheng roars and charges with his sword in desperation. Qin Chen throws a punch. Crack! The sound echoes like snapping tree branches. The punch lands directly on Lin Yusheng's heart. His eyes bulge. Blood pours from his mouth. His body collapses instantly. Zero plot armor. Lin Kaior screams as her brother drops dead. Qin Chen looks at her with ice-cold eyes. "You're next!" She turns and runs with everything she has. The two elders desperately try to block Qin Chen again, but this time Qin Chen isn't playing around. He unleashes Dragon Pillar Fists. His body stands firm like a stone pillar while both fists blast forward like cannonballs of spiritual energy. Two explosions echo. Both elders get holes blasted through their chests and their bodies fly backward before crashing to the ground. Just like that. Lin Kaior sees their corpses and completely loses her mind. Her face goes pale. Her soul basically logs out. Her only thought is run. She sprints away, but Qin Chen flicked the wooden stick. Woo! The stick pierces straight through her back. Blood sprays into the air and she collapses screaming. Qin Chen walks over calmly. He pulls the stick back out and looks at her dying body. "I gave you chances to live, but you kept choosing death. Cold, savage, absolute villain energy, except he's technically the hero." With that, Qin Chen leaves the hall as if nothing happened. To him, killing these people isn't even worth mentioning. Now that he has reached the 7-gate Death Gate stage, even 9-gate Heaven Gate cultivators could fight him. But here's the real twist of the chapter. After Qin Chen leaves inside Lin Kaior's hand, a tiny mirror suddenly glows. Then it cracks. Shatters. Far away in Lingyun City inside the Lin family mansion, a man in a black robe suddenly opens his eyes. Yup, someone just received the notification. And trust me, the next storm is about to hit. If this scene had you gripping your seat like a cultivator facing heavenly tribulation, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe before the Lin family pulls up with revenge energy in the next chapter. Because Qin Chen isn't waiting for trouble anymore. This time he is bringing the fight to all three great families. The scene cuts far away from the battlefield we just witnessed all the way back to Lingyun City, inside the Lin family mansion. And the atmosphere? Yeah, it's about to get real dark. Inside a quiet cultivation chamber, the Lin clan leader Ling Tian suddenly opens his eyes. This guy isn't just some random patriarch. He's a peak 8-gate cultivator, one step away from breaking into the legendary 9-gate Heaven Gate stage. He was literally preparing to go into deep, closed-door cultivation for a breakthrough. But right before he could continue, he felt something strange. A disturbance. A faint but terrifying spiritual fluctuation that made his heart sink instantly. Standing nearby, his eldest son Lin Yuan looks confused when his father suddenly wakes up mid-cultivation. Then Ling Tian says something that instantly changes the mood of the entire room. "Your second brother and third sister, something happened to them." Yeah, you know when a dad says that line in a cultivation story, somebody is definitely dead. Ling Tian immediately orders for the twin mirror to be brought. This artifact looks exactly like the small mirror we saw earlier in Lin Kaior's hand before it shattered. Turns out those mirrors are linked together like some ancient cultivation version of a security camera system. A moment later, Lin Yuan returns with the mirror. Ling Tian raises his hand and pours spiritual energy into it. The mirror lights up, and suddenly an image forms in the air. On the ground lies Lin Kaior, barely breathing, her life slipping away. And standing there beside her corpse, Qin Chen. The moment Lin Yuan sees that face, his entire body trembles. Qin Chen. Then reality hits him. If their third sister is dead, that means their second brother is probably gone too. Threat! The wooden table in the room instantly explodes into pieces. Ling Tian's killing intent erupts like a volcano. Qin Chen, very good. You dare kill both of my children. This man is beyond furious. The kind of fury that usually leads to entire clans getting erased from the map. But Lin Yuan quickly steps forward and bows. "Father, please calm down." He immediately starts analyzing the situation like a strategist. Their brother and sister died in the Lingyun Mountains at Qin Chen's hands. This isn't just personal revenge anymore. The Qin family must give an explanation. But here's where things get interesting. Lin Yuan reveals that recently the Ling family has been leading the Chu family and the Shen family to pressure the Qin family. In other words, the Qin clan already has enemies everywhere. So Lin Yuan suggests something very spicy. Why not ally with the three great families and destroy the Qin family together? Not only will they avenge their siblings, they can also divide the Qin family's territory and strengthen the Lin family's position in Lingyun City. That's what we call a big brain revenge plan. Ling Tian listens quietly. Then he nods with satisfaction. Clearly he's impressed with his son's thinking. But here's the twist. For the next few days, Ling Tian plans to enter death's seclusion to break through into the 9-gate Heaven Gate stage. So he assigns the entire revenge operation to Lin Yuan. And just like that, the gears of war start turning. As Lin Yuan leaves the room, the killing intent inside the chamber slowly fades. but Ling Tian's cold voice echoes through the wind. Qin Chen, you dared kill my 2 children. Your Qin family will repay this debt in blood. No, the revenge arc has officially been activated. Meanwhile, our main character is completely unaware of the storm he just triggered. Back in the underground plains beneath the Lingyun Mountains, Qin Chen is walking across a massive grassland. Unlike the tense atmosphere in the Lin mansion, Qin Chen is actually feeling pretty relaxed. He just wiped out an entire squad like it was light exercise. Now he has only one priority: find Xiao King. This mysterious companion of his is still somewhere out there, and Qin Chen is wondering what trouble that little guy might be causing right now. As he walks across the grassland, Qin Chen suddenly stops. His eyes lock onto something growing in the field. Then his face lights up. Kingsu grass. For cultivators, this plant is extremely useful, especially when preparing food or medicine for certain spirit beasts. And Qin Chen immediately thinks of Xiao King. Perfect timing. Might as well gather some for him. So the mighty reincarnated emperor crouches down and starts picking grass like he's doing side quests in an open-world game. Half a day passes just like that, but right as he's busy collecting the plants, a rude voice suddenly interrupts him. Hey kid, have you seen Qin Chen, the young master of the Qin family from Lingyun City? Qin Chen looks up at the short-haired man standing in front of him, and calmly answers, that would be me. The guy instantly explodes. What the hell, are you messing with me? Turns out this man named Yi Liang has been having the worst week of his life. His young miss sent him to search for a treasure, but he failed miserably. Because of that, she had to come personally, and naturally she scolded him. So for the past several days, Yi Liang has been desperately searching the area for Qin Chen. He's basically interrogated everyone he met. Nobody knew anything. And now suddenly, this random kid just says I'm Qin Chen. From Yi Liang's perspective, this has to be trolling. Meanwhile, Qin Chen is annoyed. Believe it or don't. If you don't believe me, then get lost. Can't you see I'm busy picking grass? That sentence alone almost sends Yi Liang into cardiac arrest. Without hesitation, he attacks. His 8-gate Jing Gate cultivation erupts instantly as he launches forward with terrifying speed. But Qin Chen is literally crouching on the ground mid-grass picking, so he just casually throws a punch upward. The moment their fists collide, both figures separate. Yi Liang's hand immediately swells up as pain shoots straight through his arm. Qin Chen, still squatting, didn't even move. Yi Liang's eyes widen. Kid, I underestimated you. He prepares to attack again, but suddenly a clear female voice rings out. Stop! Several figures slowly approach. Yi Liang immediately bows. Miss, this brat was asking for death. I was just going to teach him a lesson. But the girl calmly replies, I think the one asking for death is you. Now Qin Chen stands up and stretches like he just woke from a nap. You asked if I've seen Qin Chen. I told you I am Qin Chen. You didn't believe me and even tried to kill me. Kid, do you really think I can't kill you? Yi Liang nearly chokes when he hears that word. Bro, he's nearly 20 while Qin Chen looks like a teenager. The disrespect level is insane, but the girl suddenly steps forward and studies Qin Chen carefully. Are you really Qin Chen? Qin Chen glances at her and says something completely unexpected. You're pretty cute, but your manners are terrible. Now the atmosphere freezes, because this girl is none other than Yi Ziking, the young miss of the Yi family. Her guard Yi Liang immediately shouts in anger. Watch your mouth. This is our young Miss Yi Ziking. Answer her questions properly or else what? Qin Chen interrupts him without even blinking. At this point, Qin Chen is already irritated. Ever since he opened the 5-star spirit array seal earlier, too many people have flooded into this place and ruined the peaceful memories he once had here. First, the Lin siblings came looking for death. Now another group shows up. Finally, Yi Ziking steps forward politely. Young Master Qin, I am Yi Ziking of the Yi family. I came here searching for the heavenly fire spirit crystal. I heard that you possess one. Will you be willing to trade it? I am willing to exchange something of equal value. Qin Chen smiles slightly. Equal value? A heavenly fire spirit crystal is extremely precious. Even spirit stones wouldn't match its value. One of the young men nearby scoffs. Hi, small city young master actually knows about spirit stones? Yi Ziking shoots him a glare before turning back to Qin Chen. Then what would young Master Qin like? Qin Chen clasps his hands behind his back and answers calmly. If you really want to trade, bring me the beast core of the purple origin spirit lion, a 5th rank spirit beast. The surrounding guards explode. Are you insane? Only heaven martial experts can kill a beast like that. You're obviously making things difficult. Qin Chen shrugs. Difficult? The value of the heavenly fire spirit crystal is even higher. Then he adds casually, but if you can't bring that, there is another option. Yi Ziking leans forward immediately. What option? Qin Chen looks straight at her. Your name is Yiziking, right? If you truly want the heavenly fire spirit crystal, forget one piece. I can give you 10. Then he drops the most outrageous condition possible. Become my maid. Instant chaos erupts. The three young men beside Yiziking almost explode with rage. This brat wants to die. Miss, let me cut out his tongue. Yo, even Yiziking's beautiful brows furrow in anger. But Qin Chen simply smiles calmly. What? Not interested? Yiziking, I only said that because you actually have potential. Other people beg to become my maid, and I wouldn't even look at them. The moment those words leave his mouth, the killing intent of the three young men instantly erupts. Alright, the chaos from earlier hasn't even settled yet, and the story immediately cuts to a completely different scene. Meanwhile, Qin Chen is out here casually picking grass like he's farming side materials in a cultivation RPG. The outside world is already preparing a revenge arc. Back in Lingyun City, inside the Lin family mansion, the atmosphere is tense. Inside a quiet cultivation chamber, the patriarch of the Lin clan, Ling Tian, suddenly opens his eyes. Now this man isn't some background NPC. He's a peak 8-gate cultivator, standing right at the edge of breaking into the legendary 9-gate Heaven Gate realm. He had been preparing to enter death seclusion, the kind where you lock yourself away until you either break through or come out looking like a fossil. But something disturbed him. A strange fluctuation suddenly reached him, faint, but enough to make his heart tremble. Standing nearby, his eldest son Lin Yuan looks stunned when his father suddenly wakes up mid-cultivation. Then Ling Tian speaks in a low voice that immediately freezes the room. Your second brother and your third sister, something has happened. Yeah, whenever a clan leader says that line in a cultivation story, you already know somebody got folded. Ling Tian immediately orders an artifact to be brought. Bring the twin mirror. Soon Lin Yuan returns holding a mirror identical to the small mirror that shattered earlier in Lin Kaior's hand. Turns out these mirrors are connected, basically the ancient cultivation version of live security footage. Ling Tian raises his hand and injects streams of spiritual energy into the mirror. The mirror lights up. An image appears in the air. There on the ground lies Lin Kaior, barely breathing, her life slipping away, and standing beside her a calm young man with cold eyes. Qin Chen! The moment Lin Yuan sees that face, his body shakes violently. Qin Chen! Then a terrifying realization hits him. If their third sister is dead, then their second brother is probably gone too. Brat! The wooden table in the room instantly shatters into pieces as Ling Tian's anger explodes. Qin Chen, very good. You dare kill both of my children. The killing intent filling the room is so heavy it almost feels like the air itself is suffocating. But Lin Yuan quickly steps forward and bows. Father, please calm down. Instead of panicking, he immediately starts analyzing the situation like a strategist. Their siblings died in the Lingyun Mountains at Qin Chen's hands. This matter cannot simply end like this. The Qin family must give an explanation. But then Lin Yuan brings up something interesting. Recently, the Ling family has been leading the Chu family and the Shen family to pressure the Qin family. In other words, the Qin clan is already surrounded by enemies. So Lin Yuan suggests something bold. Why not join forces with the three great families and completely destroy the Qin family? That way they can avenge their siblings and split the Qin family's territory afterward, strengthening the Lin family's position in Lingyun City. Now that right there is a classic cultivation world business strategy. Ling Tian listens carefully, then slowly nods with satisfaction. He clearly approves of his son's thinking. But here's the twist. Ling Tian plans to enter death seclusion for the next few days in order to break through into the 9-gate Heaven Gate realm. So he hands the responsibility of dealing with this entire situation over to Lin Yuan. In other words, the revenge arc has officially begun. As Lin Yuan leaves the chamber, Ling Tian's killing intent slowly fades, but his cold voice echoes through the air. Qin Chen, you dared kill my 2 children. Your Qin family will pay this debt in blood. Yet that line alone means things are about to get messy. Meanwhile, the man who caused all this chaos has absolutely no idea. Back beneath the Lingyun Mountains, Qin Chen walks across a vast underground grassland. After dealing with the Lin siblings earlier, he finally feels a little relaxed. Right now, his priority is simple. Find Xiao King. That mysterious little companion of his is still wandering somewhere out here, and Qin Chen is starting to wonder what kind of trouble that creature might be causing. As he walks through the grassland, Qin Chen suddenly stops. He crouches down, and his eyes light up. Kingsu grass, a rare spiritual herb. Perfect. This plant happens to be extremely useful, especially when preparing things for certain spirit beasts. And Qin Chen immediately thinks of Xiao King. Perfect timing, might as well gather some for him. So the reincarnated emperor The legendary Nether Great Emperor himself starts crouching in the grass picking herbs like a farmer doing peaceful side quests. Half a day passes just like that. But right when Qin Chen is busy collecting the plants, a rude voice suddenly interrupts him. Hey kid, have you seen Qin Chen, the young master of the Qin family from Ling Tian city? Qin Chen looks up slowly. Standing in front of him is a short-haired man with an arrogant expression. Qin Chen calmly answers, I am Qin Chen. The man immediately explodes. What the hell are you messing with me? Turns out this guy named Yu Liang has been having a terrible time lately. Earlier his young miss sent him to find a treasure, but he failed completely. Because of that she had to come personally and gave him a serious scolding. So for the past few days he has been desperately searching everywhere for Qin Chen. He has practically interrogated everyone he met. Nobody knew anything. And now suddenly some random kid just says I am Qin Chen. From Yu Liang's perspective it sounds like straight trolling. Meanwhile Qin Chen is clearly annoyed. Believe it or don't, if you don't believe me then get lost. Can't you see I'm busy picking grass? That sentence almost gives Yu Liang an aneurysm. Without another word he attacks. His 8-gate Jingate cultivation erupts as he rushes forward with terrifying speed. But Qin Chen is still crouching on the ground. So he simply throws a punch upward. The two collide. In the next moment both figures separate. Yu Liang's hand instantly swells as pain shoots through his arm. Qin Chen, still crouching, didn't even move. Yu Liang stares in shock. Kid, looks like I underestimated you. He prepares to attack again, but suddenly a calm female voice rings out. Stop! Several figures walk forward slowly. Yu Liang immediately bows. Miss, this brat was asking for death. I was just about to teach him a lesson. But the girl calmly replies, the one asking for death might actually be you. Qin Chen stands up and stretches lazily. You asked if I've seen Qin Chen. I told you I am Qin Chen. You didn't believe me and even tried to kill me. Kid, do you really think I can't kill you? Yu Liang almost chokes when he hears that word. Ro is almost 20 and just got called kid by someone who looks even younger. The disrespect is insane. Then the girl steps forward and looks at Qin Chen carefully. Are you really Qin Chen? Qin Chen glances at her and casually says something outrageous. You're pretty cute but your manners are terrible. Instant silence. Because this girl is none other than Yi Ziking, the young miss of the Yi family. Yu Liang immediately shouts angrily, watch your mouth. This is our young Miss Yi Ziking. Answer her questions properly or else what? Qin Chen cuts him off without blinking. At this point Qin Chen is already irritated. Ever since he opened the 5-star spirit array seal earlier, too many people have flooded into this place and ruined his peaceful memories. First the Lin siblings came to die. Now another group shows up. Finally Yi Ziking steps forward politely. Young Master Qin, I am Yi Ziking of the Yi family. I came here searching for the Heavenly Fire Spirit Crystal. I heard you possess one. Would you be willing to trade it? I can exchange something of equal value. Qin Chen smiles faintly. Equal value? A Heavenly Fire Spirit Crystal is incredibly precious. Even spirit stones cannot match its value. One of the young men beside her scoffs. Hi, small city young master actually knows about spirit stones. Yi Ziking shoots him a sharp glare before asking again. Then what would young master Qin like? Qin Chen clasps his hands behind his back. If you truly want to trade, bring me the beast core of the purple origin spirit lion, a 5th rank spirit beast. The guards immediately explode with anger. Are you crazy? Only heaven martial experts can kill such a beast. You're obviously making things difficult. Qin Chen shrugs calmly. Difficult? The value of a Heavenly Fire Spirit Crystal is even higher than that. Then he adds casually, but if you cannot provide that, there is another option. Yi Ziking leans forward immediately. What option? Qin Chen looks straight at her. Your name is Yi Ziking, right? If you really want the Heavenly Fire Spirit Crystal, forget one piece. I can give you 10. Then he calmly drops the most outrageous condition imaginable. Become my maid. The 3 young men beside Yi Ziking instantly erupt with killing intent. Kid, you want to die? Miss, let me cut out his tongue. Even Yi Ziking's brows tighten with anger, but Qin Chen just smiles calmly. What, not interested? Yi Ziking, I only said that because you actually have talent. Other people beg to become my maid and I would not even look at them. And just like that the killing intent around them explodes. Alright, the tension from the last chapter hasn't cooled down for even a second. Qin Chen just dropped the most disrespectful offer imaginable, asking the famous Yi family genius Yi Ziking to become his maid. Yeah, you heard that right. Not a disciple, not an ally, a maid. And obviously the 3 bodyguards behind her immediately lose their minds. Yu Liang steps forward first, veins popping like he just heard the worst insult of his life. He looks at the other 2, Yu Feng and Yi Shuang, and declares that the 3 of them will personally capture Qin Chen alive. Then they'll interrogate him until he coughs up the heavenly fire spirit crystal. Basically, they think this is about to become a 3 versus 1 beatdown. So the 3 young 8-gate cultivators rush forward at the same time. Now from a normal perspective, 3 8-gate fighters jumping a single 7-gate cultivator should be an easy win. But unfortunately for them, the opponent is Qin Chen. Qin Chen looks at the 3 of them charging and just laughs. 3 8-gate kids think they can capture me? He takes a step back, clenches his fist and launches a punch. Dragon transformation. This is the 7th move of the Tiger Roar Dragon Chant Fist. The moment he throws the punch, spiritual energy erupts outward and forms the phantom of a roaring dragon, and that dragon surges forward like a tidal wave. Boom, boom, boom! Before the 3 attackers can even reach him, the dragon phantom slams into them. All 3 bodies get blasted backward like rag dolls. Each of them coughs up blood as they crash onto the ground. Just like that, the fight ends in 1 move. Yi Ziking watches the scene and her heart sinks. She already knew Qin Chen was at the 7-gate Deathgate stage, but the power he just displayed is completely ridiculous. A cultivator at that level shouldn't be able to overwhelm 3 8-gate fighters this easily. This guy is clearly abnormal. Meanwhile, Qin Chen dusts off his hands like he just swatted a few flies. Then he looks at Yi Ziking again. Yi Ziking, right? I'll give you one last chance. Become my maid. If you refuse, I leave. If you agree, I will give you 1 heavenly fire spirit crystal. Notice the wording there. No, not trade, not sell. No, that single word instantly makes the 3 guards furious again. From their perspective, Qin Chen is acting like some supreme expert handing out treasures. Yu Liang glares at him and roars, Qin Chen, you're just some countryside young master from a small city. Do you even know who you're talking to? Qin Chen's eyes narrow. Oh, then do you know who you're talking to? Before anyone can react, Qin Chen steps forward and throws another punch straight at Yi Liang. Yi Liang's face goes pale, but before the punch lands, Yi Ziking suddenly moves. Her body flashes forward like lightning. Her palm slices down like a blade. The fist and palm collide. Both figures slide back several steps. Yi Ziking's expression immediately changes. Shrug! Only after directly exchanging blows does she realize how terrifying Qin Chen is. Even though his cultivation is lower than hers, the force behind his attack is unbelievably powerful. Qin Chen smiles slightly. 9-gate, heaven-gate stage, not bad. Then he casually drops another bombshell. If you become my maid, I can help you break into the 1st level of the Spirit Sea realm immediately. Those words make Yi Ziking stop in her tracks. The 3 guards also freeze. Spirit Sea realm. That's a whole different level compared to the 9-gate stage. Even reaching that realm usually requires years of cultivation. Yet Qin Chen just says he can do it immediately. Yi Ziking stares at him. For the first time since meeting him, hesitation appears in her eyes. Qin Chen continues talking calmly. Yi Ziking, your appearance is decent, but you should understand something. In the world of martial artists, beauty alone means nothing. Hearing Qin Chen casually say her beauty is just decent nearly causes the 3 guards to implode. Because Yi Ziking is widely known as one of the top beauties of the entire northern Ming Empire, but to Qin Chen she's apparently just alright. Yi Ziking finally asks the question that's been bothering her the entire time. Who exactly are you? Qin Chen sighs like he's tired of repeating himself. Don't you know? 3rd young master Qin Chen of the Qin family in Lingyan City. The answer leaves her speechless, because everything about Qin Chen feels wrong. His strength, his confidence, the way he talks, none of it matches a 16-year-old boy. At that moment, Yi Ziking faces a dilemma. The old master traveling with her is currently exploring another part of the secret area. Without him, she cannot guarantee she can capture Qin Chen. But if Qin Chen escapes into the mountains, finding him again would be nearly impossible. And she desperately needs the heavenly fire spirit crystal. Her mother's life depends on it. Finally, she makes a decision. Alright, the 3 guards instantly panic. Mess? Their noble young lady becoming someone's maid would shake the entire empire. But Yi Ziking raises her hand. I have decided. Qin Chen nods in satisfaction. Good choice. Then he smirks. Since you are now my maid, you should know what that means. Before Yi Ziking can respond, Yi Liang explodes again. You don't go too far. Qin Chen glances at him coldly. I'm speaking to my maid. What does that have to do with you? The insult nearly causes Yi Liang's brain to short-circuit. Yi Ziking quickly stops the argument and looks at Qin Chen seriously. You said that if I become your maid, you will give me the heavenly fire spirit crystal and help me reach the Spirit Sea realm immediately. Can you actually do that? Qin Chen answers without hesitation. Of course, but first I need to test your loyalty. Then he begins walking forward with his hands behind his back. Yi Ziking hesitates for a moment, then follows him. The 3 guards reluctantly trail behind. As they walk, Qin Chen suddenly asks a question. Do you know where this place is? Yiziking answers. A relic left behind by the 9 Nether Great Emperor. Qin Chen raises an eyebrow. Oh, you actually know that? Then he shrugs. But it's not really a relic. The 9 Nether Great Emperor simply stayed here for a while and left some things behind. Hearing him talk so casually about that legendary figure makes everyone uneasy. Yiziking speaks again. Qin Chen, I keep my word. I hope you do the same. Qin Chen nods. Don't worry. Then he asks something unexpected. Why do you need the heavenly fire spirit crystal so urgently? Yiziking answers quietly. To save someone. My mother. She was poisoned by a 9 nether-armed scorpion. Its poison is extremely cold. Only the heavenly fire spirit crystal can cure it. But the moment Qin Chen hears that, he freezes. Then he asks a sharp question. Who told you that? Yiziking replies immediately. Master Chu Fengjiang, a 3rd-rank spirit alchemist. Qin Chen suddenly bursts into laughter. Yiziking frowns. What are you laughing at? Qin Chen shakes his head. You were deceived. The 9 nether-armed scorpion's poison is indeed cold, but hidden within that cold poison is fire energy. If you treat it with the heavenly fire spirit crystal, the cold poison might not even disappear before the fire poison erupts. Yiziking immediately shakes her head. Impossible. Master Chu Fengjiang is a respected alchemist. Why would he deceive me? Qin Chen sighs. You don't believe me? Fine. He casually flicks his hand. A heavenly fire spirit crystal flies toward her. Take it. That fulfills the first condition. Then he points toward a nearby swamp. As for the second condition, it's inside there. The group arrives at the edge of a foul-smelling marsh. Yet mixed within the stench is a faint refreshing fragrance. Qin Chen looks at Yu Liang. Your name is Yu Liang, right? Open a path 10 meters long into the swamp. Yu Liang immediately explodes again. You dare order me? Qin Chen shrugs. Your young lady is now my maid. She'll eventually be serving tea, pouring water, even massaging shoulders. As her subordinate, shouldn't you listen to me too? Before Yu Liang can explode again, Yiziking suddenly speaks. Do as he says. The 3 guards reluctantly begin digging into the swamp. But something strange happens. Normally swamp mud should collapse immediately. Yet even after they dig more than a meter deep, the mud on both sides remains perfectly separated, as if an invisible force is holding everything in place. And at that moment, everyone begins to realize Qin Chen might be leading them towards something far more mysterious than they expected. If this chapter had you thinking Qin Chen just recruited one of the Empire's top beauties as his maid, yeah, that's wild, so make sure you subscribe before the story drops another insane twist in the next chapter. The moment the path through the swamp reaches about 10 meters, Qin Chen suddenly raises his hand. Alright, stop. For Yu Liang and the other 2 guards, digging 10 meters of swamp isn't exactly difficult. But they still look irritated, covered in mud, smelling like they just lost a wrestling match with a sewer monster, and the guy who ordered them to do it is standing there perfectly clean. Qin Chen casually walks down the narrow path they just opened. Step by step he moves deeper into the swamp until he reaches the exact center of the 10-meter mark. Then he stops. He begins looking around carefully, almost like someone searching for the right button to press in a hidden dungeon. Behind him, Yu Liang quietly leans toward Yiziking and whispers, Miss, this kid is weird. You already got the heavenly fire spirit crystal. Why don't we just kill him here? Honestly, from his perspective that sounds pretty reasonable. But Yiziking slowly shakes her head. Let's watch first. Her beautiful eyes remain locked on Qin Chen. This person, I feel like he is far from simple. Even if the 4 of us attack together, we may not be able to kill him. That sentence almost makes Yu Liang choke. Wait, what? Their young miss is a 9-gate heaven gate cultivator, only 1 step away from the spirit sea realm. Once she breaks through, she can directly become an inner court disciple of the Heavenly God Academy, and even she isn't confident she can defeat Qin Chen. At this moment, Yu Liang finally begins to understand something. This young man in front of them is not normal. Meanwhile, Yiziking herself feels increasingly curious. What exactly is Qin Chen trying to do here? Right then, Qin Chen suddenly waves his hand. Yiziking, come here. The moment Yu Liang hears him casually calling her Yiziking, the anger in his chest almost explodes again. If someone dared call Miss Yiziking like that in the imperial capital, every rich young master there would probably tear that person's mouth apart. But Yiziking ignores the tone and walks forward. This strange swamp phenomenon has already caught her attention. Standing beside Qin Chen in the center of the swamp, she waits. Qin Chen doesn't say anything. Instead, he slowly raises his hand. Streams of spiritual energy begin to gather around his palm, extending outward like invisible tentacles, spreading in every direction. Then suddenly, boom! The entire swamp violently trembles. In an instant, the disgusting mud explodes upward like a volcanic eruption. It's as if someone just threw a thunder bomb straight into the swamp. Mud flies everywhere across the sky, but strangely the area where Qin Chen and Yiziking are standing remains completely untouched. Not a single drop lands on them. Meanwhile, the three guards behind them, they get absolutely blasted. Mud splashes all over their faces, clothes, hair, everything. The smell of swamp sludge spreads instantly. Qin Chen glances back at them calmly. Still thinking about killing me? Next time the thing falling on your heads won't be mud. The cold, killing intent in his eyes makes the three men freeze instantly. For the first time, they genuinely feel threatened, because it suddenly feels like Qin Chen understands this place better than anyone, almost as if he designed it himself. And ironically, that is exactly the truth. Many years ago, when Qin Chen lived as the Nine Nether Great Emperor, he personally built this place to train his disciples' disciples. This underground area wasn't some random ruin. It was a training ground. And this swamp, just one of the many mechanisms. As the mud explosion settles, the ground itself suddenly begins to rise. The swamp slowly disappears. The muddy water sinks downward while something massive emerges from below. A giant stone platform rises from the earth. The platform is ancient green in color, covered with countless cracks and patterns carved by time. It stretches across hundreds of meters. Several stone pillars also rise up around it. The entire scene looks like an ancient cultivation arena being reborn. Qin Chen steps forward. Follow me. Yiziking's eyes widen slightly. Even with her broad knowledge, she has never seen something like this before. No wonder Elder Ku was drawn here. The two of them walk to the center of the platform. Then Qin Chen suddenly says something seemingly random. This place is called the Spirit Nurturing Platform. Yiziking's expression changes instantly. Spirit Nurturing Platform? She actually recognizes the name. I once heard that the Nine Nether Great Emperor accepted a disciple here. In order to train him, he designed this place as a cultivation ground. The Spirit Nurturing Platform gathers the spiritual essence of heaven and earth to help cultivation. Qin Chen smiles slightly. You know quite a bit, but not everything you said is correct. This platform indeed gathers spiritual essence, but the Nine Nether Great Emperor wasn't training his disciple here. He was training his disciples' disciples. And besides cultivation, his place has another function, testing spirit bodies. The moment Qin Chen says that, Yiziking suddenly understands. In the martial world, the universe is vast beyond imagination. The Nine Nether continent itself is only a small corner of the entire martial world. According to ancient legends, the heavens were once divided into countless worlds stacked across different dimensions. Humans themselves were divided into 9 ranks. But then a terrifying figure appeared, a being powerful enough to reshape heaven and earth. This person merged countless worlds into one single continent, bringing all races into the same space and time. But later, that figure disappeared without a trace. No records of him remained. Later, the great continent split again, eventually forming the Nine Nether continent. This legendary figure is known as the Supreme God Emperor. Because of his act of merging the heavens, countless legends were born afterward. One of them is the concept of spirit bodies. As spiritual energy flows endlessly through heaven and earth, certain extraordinary individuals are born with physiques that resonate perfectly with that energy. Yiziking speaks with admiration, but when she notices Qin Chen staring at her silently, she quickly explains, "Of course, I only read these things in some ancient unofficial records. Most of them are probably just myths." Qin Chen shakes his head slowly. "They're all true." Yiziking freezes. "What? Everything you said is true." Qin Chen's voice becomes unusually serious. That person truly existed. The Supreme God Emperor, the ruler before whom countless gods and emperors bowed. Above him, no one dared call themselves God. No one dared call themselves emperor. For the first time since the story began, emotion appears in Qin Chen's voice. Because the man Yiziking just described as his father. Back then, as the son of the emperor, Qin Chen witnessed his father's disappearance. The Nine Heaven Cloud Alliance fell into chaos. Countless races began to rise. The entire world plunged toward disaster. His mother sacrificed everything to send him away. And so began Qin Chen's fate as the Nine-Life Heavenly Son. Across tens of thousands of years, he lived 9 different lives. Each life he became a legendary figure. Each life he came closer to returning there. Until finally, when he believed his 9th life had succeeded, he was assassinated and forced into a 10th life, 9-Life Heavenly Son, sharing the same destiny as his father. Qin Chen slowly clenches his fists. In this life he will return. He will step into the Nine Heaven Cloud Alliance once again, and tell the world something very clearly. His father may be gone, but everything his father once carried will now be carried by him. Qin Chen! Alright, things are about to get wild on the Spirit Nurturing platform. Qin Chen has just finished explaining the whole legendary background of spirit bodies and ancient worlds, and Yu Ziking is still standing there trying to process everything he said. Meanwhile, Qin Chen is staring at her like someone who just discovered a hidden legendary item in a loot chest. So Yu Ziking finally breaks the silence. Start! She's confused. Start what? Qin Chen looks at her like the answer is obvious. Testing your spirit body, what else? Then he casually adds another line that nearly makes her choke. Did you think I brought you here just to test your loyalty? Yu Ziking pauses. Okay, fair point. So she slowly walks toward the center of the spirit nurturing platform. Meanwhile, Qin Chen stands nearby, quietly watching the ancient structure. For a moment his eyes show a trace of nostalgia. This place, it has been thousands of years since he last stood here. Back then he personally built this training ground to discipline his disciples. Now after so many years, the platform still works perfectly. Not bad. Finally, Qin Chen raises one finger. A thin stream of spiritual energy shoots from his fingertip directly into the platform. But the entire spirit nurturing platform lights up instantly. A brilliant glow rises from the center and wraps around Yu Ziking's body. And then something incredible happens. 9 beams of light burst out from around her. Inside those beams appear 9 elegant phantom figures dancing through the air. Each phantom has a different beauty, graceful, mysterious, almost divine. The 3 guards watching from the side are instantly stunned. Under the glow of those 9 lights, Yu Ziking's figure becomes even more dazzling. She looks like a lotus blooming under moonlight. Basically, the entire scene looks like a celestial fairy descending from the heavens. Even the 3 guys who have followed her for years are staring with their mouths open. Meanwhile, Qin Chen nods calmly. As expected, 9 revolutions exquisite body. That confirmation alone makes his eyes shine slightly, because this is an extremely rare spirit physique. Then Qin Chen raises his hand again. Streams of spiritual energy shoot toward the platform, increasing the pressure. But something interesting happens. The spirit nurturing platform immediately releases even stronger spiritual energy in response. Suddenly, a massive wave of energy rushes toward Yu Ziking. She cries out. Spiritual energy pours into her body from every direction. At the same time, the 9 phantom figures circle around her and then merge back into her body one by one. The entire process looks intense. Yu Yang panics immediately. What's happening? Hey, what's going on? Qin Chen doesn't even look at him. Use your eyes. He continues watching Yu Ziking carefully. Inside his mind, he is already analyzing the result. 9 revolutions exquisite body, interesting. This kind of physique is extremely rare, unless his eyes narrow slightly. Could she be a descendant of that little brat? He mutters to himself before walking to a flat spot on the platform and casually sitting down. Yu Yang stares at him. What are you doing now? Qin Chen answers like it's obvious. Cultivating. This process will take about 4 hours. If I'm just sitting here doing nothing, I might as well train. And just like that, he closes his eyes. The 3 guards look at each other completely confused. Meanwhile, Qin Chen enters inner observation of his body. Inside him, the 4 limbs, 5 organs, and 6 internal organs are already fully nourished by spiritual energy. The jade pillow acupoint at the back of his head is open. The life gate has formed inside the Fengshen pearl. His entire body has become far more flexible and efficient. Right now, he has already reached the 7-gate death gate stage. In the Northern Ming Empire, that level already counts as a skilled expert. But compared to the 8-gate Jing gate stage, it's still far from enough. The 8-gate stage is important because it opens 4 crucial paths in the body: the mouth, the nose, the ears, and the heart. Once these 4 points connect to the brain, the entire body becomes a complete system. Not only does strength increase dramatically, but spiritual energy can finally be projected outward to form a protective aura. Think of it like unlocking your first real armor skill. Even if a cultivator's body is tough from spiritual training, it's still weaker than wild beasts. But once a spiritual energy barrier forms around the body, that's basically an invisible armor. Blades struggle to penetrate. Water and fire barely affect you. And once a cultivator reaches the 9-gate heaven gate stage, opening the heaven gate between the eyebrows allows spiritual energy to wash the entire body. That final transformation increases lifespan, reaction speed, and mental clarity. But opening the heaven gate is incredibly difficult. Among the hundreds of millions of people in the Northern Ming Empire, maybe 1 in 10,000 can reach that stage. Meanwhile, Qin Chen begins circulating spiritual energy inside his body. His energy surges toward the 4 blocked points: ears, nose, mouth, heart. But every time the energy tries to break through, it hits an invisible barrier. Still not enough. Qin Chen opens his eyes slightly. Then he takes out a pill. The pill is pale gold with a glowing ring around it, releasing a rich fragrance that instantly fills the air. The moment Yu Liang sees it, he nearly screams. That's a golden origin pill, a first-rank spirit pill. The pill used by Spirit Sea experts to open their Spirit Sea. The guards stare in disbelief. Is this kid seriously about to use it? Golden origin pills can help 9-gate cultivators open acupoints, but using one for that purpose is insanely wasteful. That's like burning a treasure chest just to light a campfire. But Qin Chen doesn't care. He tosses the pill into his mouth. Well, the 3 guards freeze. Did he just swallow it? A pill that even Spirit Sea experts would fight over, and this guy used it to break through the 8-gate stage. The heavens would probably strike lightning just to punish that level of luxury. Meanwhile, Qin Chen focuses completely. The pill dissolves into streams of spiritual energy mixed with medicinal power. The energy spreads through his entire body. Then he pushes everything toward the blocked points again. Crack! The first barrier breaks. Ear acupoint opened. Crack! The mouth acupoint shatters open. Crack! The nose acupoint follows. Finally, crack! The last barrier collapses. A wave of spiritual energy spreads across Qin Chen's body. It forms a thin protective layer hugging his skin. 8-gate Jing gate stage. Breakthrough. The 3 guards stare in horror. This kid just advanced again. 10 days ago, the information about Qin Chen said he was only at the 6-gate stage. Now he's already reached 8 gates. That kind of leveling speed is basically cheating. But right then, buzz. Another wave of energy spreads across the platform. Yiziking slowly descends from the air. Her eyes open. 2 flashes of light pass through her pupils. When the guards see her now, they are completely stunned. Beautiful, but not just beautiful. Her entire aura has changed. As she slowly steps down from the platform, she looks like a heavenly maiden descending from the 9th heaven. Every movement carries an elegance that makes people lose their breath. Even Qin Chen nods. Not bad. 9 revolutions, exquisite body. Follow this young master and your physique will eventually reach its full potential. Yiziking stands there silently for a moment. Then suddenly she freezes. Wait, 9 revolutions, exquisite body? Her eyes widen. Are you saying my physique is a spirit body? Alright, this chapter starts with Qin Chen casually dropping another lore bomb that leaves everyone standing there like their brains just got hit by heavenly lightning. Yiziking has only just learned that her 9 revolutions, exquisite body is real. And before she can even fully process that, Qin Chen smiles and says something even crazier. Who told you that spirit bodies are the strongest? Then he casually explains that spirit bodies are actually just the lowest tier among countless special physiques. Above spirit bodies there are saint bodies. Above saint bodies, king bodies. Above king bodies, emperor bodies. And above those emperor level physiques of the highest order. Then he looks right at Yiziking and drops the verdict. Your 9 revolutions, exquisite body is an emperor body. Yeah, not some rare little talent. Not some pretty decent hidden gift. An emperor body. At that point, even Yiziking is genuinely shaken. Because up until now, she didn't even know she had a special physique. And now this guy is telling her she's carrying one of the most ridiculous body types imaginable. That is not a normal identity crisis. That is premium grade cultivation whiplash. Then Qin Chen looks at her again and casually asks another question. So you didn't just break through to the Spirit Sea realm, right? Yiziking checks herself and answers. 3rd level of Spirit Sea. The second those words come out, Yu Liang and the other 2 guards basically stop functioning. A moment ago, their young miss was still at the peak of the 9-gate heaven gate stage. A few hours later, she has jumped straight into the 3rd level of Spirit Sea. That kind of progress is so illegal it should come with a trial in the heavens. And Qin Chen? This man just nods like it's decent. Not bad. Then he says if the spirit's nurturing platform had been complete, he could have let her soak in it for a full month and she might have skipped the entire Spirit Sea realm and gone straight into the spirit platform stage. At this point, Yiziking wisely chooses not to argue, because every time Qin Chen opens his mouth, reality gets bent like wet paper. Then Qin Chen turns to leave. He says her conditions have been fulfilled. She got the heavenly fire spirit crystal. She got the breakthrough. Saving her mother is more important, so he tells her to hurry back. He also says that he'll be heading to the imperial capital soon, and they can meet again there. Now this is where Yiziking gets curious. She looks at his calm, confident back and asks the obvious question. You're not afraid I'll go back on my word? Qin Chen turns around and smiles lightly. Best not to. Otherwise, even if you are an emperor body, I will still kill you without hesitation. That line lands hard. Simple. Direct. Zero extra sauce. And the scary part? Yiziking can feel he means it. Even now, after reaching the 3rd level of Spirit Sea, she still has the terrifying sense that if Qin Chen really wanted her dead, he could do it. That is such an insane aura check. Then right as he's about to leave, Qin Chen casually throws in another line. Next time we meet in the Imperial Capital, I hope you reach the 5th level of Spirit Sea. I happen to have a spirit art that suits you. Bro really recruits a top-tier genius, upgrades her, threatens her, promises future homework, and leaves like this is a normal Tuesday. But before he can walk away, a sudden sound rings out. At Yiziking's waist, a jade pendant suddenly shatters. Her face changes instantly. That Elder Ku is in mortal danger. Qin Chen stops. Elder Ku? Yiziking quickly explains that Elder Ku is a servant of the Yi family and a Spirit Sea expert. Qin Chen asks where he is. She says about 15 li away, in the middle of a small mountain area. The second Qin Chen hears that location, his expression changes. This old man really had to run there of all places? Now Yiziking and the others are confused, because Qin Chen clearly knows exactly what that place is. And of course he does, because once again, this entire zone might as well be his old backyard. So with a sigh, Qin Chen tells them he'll lead the way. Otherwise, he says he doesn't want the maid he just accepted to die here already. At this point, Yiziking doesn't even bother reacting to the maid comment. Earlier she agreed because she had no choice. No, she's honestly too shocked by Qin Chen to even care. The way he understands this place, it feels like he built it himself. Which is wild because he looks like a teenage boy. So the 5 of them rush out at full speed. In just the time it takes to drink a cup of tea, they arrive. In front of them lies a stretch of low mountains. Not really towering peaks, more like large hills packed tightly together. Qin Chen looks at the mountain range and exhales. Then he asks where her old servant is. Yiziking senses he's only a few hundred meters ahead. Qin Chen immediately warns everyone, "From here on, step exactly where I step. If anything happens because you don't listen, and you die, that's on you." Then he heads straight into the valley. And this time, Yi Liang and the others are completely obedient. Because if even Elder Ku got trapped here, then this place is no joke. What should have been a short walk of a few hundred meters takes more than 10 minutes. Finally, they turn a corner and Yiziking freezes. Elder Ku! The old man is hanging from a mountainside in torn black robes, covered in blood, barely alive. It looks like some invisible force has bound him in place. And not just bound him, something unseen is cutting into his flesh over and over, leaving fresh blood marks across his body. And he isn't alone. Several other people are trapped there too. They all appear restrained by invisible shackles, unable to move, while invisible blades keep carving them up little by little. Basically, this mountain is running a silent blender trap. Even while hanging there half dead, Elder Ku gasps out a warning. "Miss, don't come closer." Yiziking asks what happened. Qin Chen answers before anyone else can. "Brid." He looks toward the mountain top and immediately calls it. They saw treasures up there and got greedy. They wanted to pick them. Yiziking follows his gaze. And sure enough, on the summit are blooming clusters of purple spirit pill flowers. Top-tier spiritual medicine ingredients. And when she looks closer, there are clearly even more valuable things beyond those. So yeah, the old man saw the loot and got baited. Classic dungeon mistake. The worst part is Elder Ku isn't the only victim. There are more than 10 trapped people here, and some of them are clearly Spirit Sea experts too. That alone tells you how nasty this place really is. Yiziking turns to Qin Chen with a pleading look. Qin Chen basically says that according to his personal opinion, all the people trapped here deserve it, including her old servant. But because Yiziking is his mate, her servant gets to live. That's such an absurdly arrogant line, but at this point nobody even argues. Qin Chen walks up to the mountain. He doesn't make any flashy move. He just approaches the base, and instantly the invisible shackles restraining Elder Ku disappear. The old man drops straight down. Yi Liang and the others rush forward to catch him. Then Qin Chen starts lecturing him in that old monster tone again. Next time, remember, don't throw your life away the moment you see something valuable. Imagine being an old Spirit Sea expert and getting scolded by a teenage boy like he's your disappointed grandpa. Elder Ku clearly feels humiliated and wants to argue back. But the second he notices how respectfully Miss Yi is treating Qin Chen, he decides silence is healthier. But then a shout rings out. "Kid, stop right there." Another group arrives from the opposite side of the mountain. Actually, not just one group. 2 or 3 groups of warriors appear, more than 10 people total, surrounding Qin Chen and the Yi family group. One of the leaders, a middle-aged man from what looks like the Withered Ice mercenary group, coldly tells Qin Chen that he seems to understand the problem here. So he should rescue their people too. Qin Chen turns around and looks at him like he just heard the dumbest request in the world. Rescue them? Are you dreaming in broad daylight? Then he points out that he already said it clearly. If Elder Ku were not the servant of his maid, he wouldn't even bother saving him. As for the people hanging up there letting them stay, they're slowly waiting for death is already a mercy. That line instantly sets the mercenaries off. One mercenary steps forward and starts threatening him. He says they're from the Withered Ice mercenary group, and this man here is their third chief, Chen Fang. If Qin Chen doesn't want to die, he better save their brothers immediately, and then harvest all the spiritual herbs from the mountain for them too. Yeah, these clowns really walked into a death trap, watched Qin Chen casually bypass it, and somehow still decided this was the perfect moment to act tough. That's not confidence. That's speedrunning a funeral. And if you're enjoying watching arrogant side characters volunteer for disaster, hit like and subscribe, because the next chapter is about to turn this mountain into a full-blown humiliation zone. Alright, the moment the mercenaries and those other squads surround Qin Chen, the tension in the valley instantly spikes. One of the other leaders steps forward and starts shouting threats. This guy proudly announces that his group is from the Changshan Alliance in Changshan County. If Qin Chen doesn't release their trapped companions immediately, they'll make sure he dies without even a place to bury his body. Yeah, I really said that. More than 10 people slowly tighten the circle around Qin Chen and the others. Killing intent fills the air, and the three leaders among them clearly release powerful spiritual energy. All three are Spirit Sea realm cultivators. Normally, that kind of lineup would make most people think twice. But Qin Chen, he just looks annoyed. Meanwhile, Yi Ziking quietly steps forward beside him. Her tone is calm, but her expression is deadly serious. Do you need my help killing them? That line alone makes the mercenaries blink. Because earlier they saw Qin Chen acting like the boss, but now even this Spirit Sea level genius is asking him for permission to fight. Qin Chen glances at her and smiles. Not bad, you are already showing the awareness of a maid. Then he waves his hand casually. But here, I don't need your help. These little shrimp, I can deal with them myself. The level of disrespect in that sentence could probably cause a spiritual earthquake. So Qin Chen steps forward alone. He looks at the group of more than 10 warriors and calmly says something that hits even harder. Doesn't matter if you're from the Changshan Alliance or the Withered Ice mercenary group. If you want to act arrogant in front of me, you're still far too inexperienced. Out that, the insults are officially unlocked. The leaders immediately explode. Want to die? Arrogant brat. Ignorant fool. One of them even threatens that after killing Qin Chen, they'll find his family and make them pay in blood for his arrogance today. Another mercenary loudly declares that the Withered Ice mercenary group isn't something people can provoke. Basically, everyone is screaming like they're auditioning for the role of disposable villains. Qin Chen's expression instantly turns cold. A bunch of rabble. He speaks slowly. This place was never somewhere you should have entered. You barged in here without permission. I already showed mercy by not killing you, and now you want to kill me? Then his eyes flash with killing intent. If that's the case, accept death. The moment those words fall, Qin Chen raises his hand. His feet move across the ground in a strange pattern, stepping through the 7 stars while aligning with the 5 elements. The ground inside the valley suddenly begins to crack. Stone fractures spread across the earth like lightning. Then something terrifying happens. Stone figures begin rising from the ground. Massive stone warriors more than 3 meters tall appear all around the valley. They look heavy and clumsy at first glance, but the moment Qin Chen speaks again, kill them. Leave no one alive. The stone warriors move, and suddenly they are insanely fast. Whoa! A stone warrior rushes forward and throws a single punch. A Jing Gate cultivator explodes on the spot. Not knocked down. Explodes. Blood sprays everywhere. The surrounding warriors don't even have time to react before the stone warriors charge straight into the crowd. Screams erupt everywhere. Because these stone warriors are unbelievably strong, their punches hit like mountain hammers. Their speed is terrifying. And worst of all, there's no way to dodge properly inside the narrow valley. Within moments, the entire battlefield turns into chaos. Mercenaries and alliance fighters try to run, block, counterattack. None of it works. They can only face the brutal fists of the stone warriors head-on. Meanwhile, Qin Chen stands there watching everything with cold eyes. This place is called Stone Valley. It's another training ground he created back in the day. These stone warriors were originally meant to train his disciples. They were designed to increase reaction speed and durability. Even the surrounding hills? Those weren't natural either. Long ago, Qin Chen literally sliced the peaks off massive mountains with his sword and moved them here just to plant decorative herbs and flowers. The spiritual plants growing here are priceless treasures to Spirit Sea cultivators. But the Qin Chen back then, they were just scenery. This entire place is basically his old backyard. and now the idiots came stomping through it looking for treasure. Of course he's not going to tolerate that. In less than the time it takes an incense stick to burn, more than 10 bodies are lying on the ground. The blood covers the valley floor. Qin Chen walks toward the central mountain again and looks up at the people still trapped on the slope. Originally, he planned to let them slowly die while enjoying the scenery, but now, he changed his mind. He clenches his fist. Immediately, the swords embedded in the mountain side slowly pull free. Sharp blades begin pointing toward the trapped people. They slowly move forward. Closer, closer. One of the trapped young men suddenly screams in panic. "Oh, stop! You can't kill me! I'm Wang Yuanyu, the young master of the Wang family in the imperial capital. You can't kill me!" But Qin Chen doesn't even blink. "Here there is no one I cannot kill." Those words hit like a hammer. Meanwhile, Yi Ziking suddenly freezes. Because the Wang family in the imperial capital is a major power, and Wang Yuanyu is one of their famous young masters. The terrified youth spots her and immediately screams again. Miss Yi Ziking, it's me, Wang Yuanyu. You can't let him kill me." Yi Ziking can only smile bitterly. She already knows Qin Chen's personality. Trying to stop him now would be like trying to stop a thunderstorm with a paper umbrella. She carefully explains the situation. Young Master Qin, he's from the Wang family in the imperial capital, a very powerful clan in the northern Ming Empire. Qin Chen responds with one simple sentence. "So what? If I want to kill someone, I have never needed to check their identity." Yi Ziking wisely stops talking, because she knows something now. Inside this place, Qin Chen is basically the master of everything. No one knows what kind of traps or formations he might activate next. Meanwhile, the swords move even closer to the trapped victims. The blades are almost touching their bodies. The valley fills with screams, but suddenly, a loud shout echoes through the valley. "Idiot brat! Stop right there!" A group of riders rush into the valley at high speed. At the front stands a burly man. The moment Wang Yuanyu sees him, his face lights up like someone just activated plot armor. "Jing Yuan, you came just in time. Kill him! Kill this Qin Chen! He's trying to murder me!" The man named Jing Yuan scans the scene and immediately notices Yi Ziking. He furious. "Miss Yi, what is going on here?" Jing Yuan is a steward of the Wang family. He came with the young master to capture a spirit beast as a mount in the Lingyun Mountains. But when he saw Yi Ziking standing there, he instinctively assumed she was the one controlling the situation. Yi Ziking immediately replies coldly, "It has nothing to do with me." Wang Yuanyu shouts again, "It's that kid!" Jing Yuan immediately turns to Qin Chen and issues a warning. "Qin Chen, you'd better stop now. Otherwise the anger of the Wang family in the imperial capital is something you cannot bear." Qin Chen tilts his head. "Why would I need to bear the anger of some random Wang family? This brat entered my territory. If I want to kill him, what does it have to do with you?" Jing Yuan's face darkens instantly. No one in the northern Ming Empire has ever spoken to him like this before. So he makes a decision. "If you refuse to release him, don't blame me for being ruthless." But interestingly, he doesn't attack immediately. Instead, he gives a command. "Release the beast. Kill that brat." And then a creature is brought forward. Its body is covered in stiff green fur like steel needles, 4 powerful legs, and a pair of shining horns on its head. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary green ox from a farm, but anyone with cultivation experience can immediately tell this is not a normal animal. This is a spirit beast, and the moment Qin Chen sees it, a strange look appears in his eyes, because he recognizes exactly what kind of creature this is. Alright, this chapter starts with absolute clown behavior from the Wang family side. Wang Yuanyu is still hanging there on the mountain like a deluxe edition hostage, screaming for help, and instead of calming the situation down, he decides the best move is to order that captured spirit beast to tear Qin Chen apart. Peak rich young master logic. Jing Yuan goes along with it immediately. Now, to be fair, the guy is not completely stupid. He still doesn't understand why Yi Ziking is standing beside Qin Chen, so he doesn't want to attack blindly. Instead, he uses the spirit beast as a test. Smart in theory, terrible in practice. He arrogantly commands the beast to go kill Qin Chen, and this beast is no joke. It looks like a green ox, over a meter tall, solid body, strong limbs, shining horns, and a coat of green fur stiff as steel needles. Definitely still young, but even so, its aura is already at spirit sea level. Earlier, Jing Yuan and his people paid a heavy price just to catch this thing. They even lost 2 guards during the process. That alone should have told them something. If a baby beast is already folding your squad, Maybe, just maybe, it is not regular farm equipment. Meanwhile, this little green ox looks at Qin Chen with watery eyes like it's about to file an emotional damage report. Then it stumps its hooves and lets out a cry. Moo, except it does not really sound like a normal cow. It sounds like a spirit beast trying to say, bro, I have suffered. And then it charges. The moment it rushes forward, Yiziking instantly steps out, ready to protect Qin Chen. Makes sense, right? A spirit sea-level beast is coming full speed, and Qin Chen is just standing there. But then Qin Chen gives her a cold order. Step back! She hesitates, because from her perspective, this thing has the strength of a spirit sea cultivator. Even if Qin Chen is built different, that still looks dangerous. So she starts to object. And Qin Chen just repeats himself with even less patience. I said step back. I do not like repeating my commands. Oh, that line hits Yiziking right in the pride. This girl is the noble eldest miss of the Yi family in the imperial capital. She came to help him, and instead he basically told her to stand down like a disobedient assistant. Emotional damage. Meanwhile, Jing Yuan is secretly thrilled, because he knows exactly how nasty this spirit beast is. Even with his own 4th level spirit sea cultivation, he could not subdue it alone. So in his mind, Qin Chen refusing help means one thing: free funeral. The green ox charges faster and faster, kicking up dust, closing more than 100 meters in just a few breaths. And then Qin Chen steps forward, looks at the charging beast, and opens his arms. Not a defensive stance, not a killing move. An embrace. Everybody there instantly gets brain lag. What is this man doing? That is a spirit sea-level beast charging straight at him, and he is standing there like he is waiting for a dramatic reunion scene. The green ox leaps. Its front hooves rise high into the air. From everyone else's angle, this looks like the exact moment Qin Chen's head is about to get stomped into ancient history. Yiziking cannot hold back anymore. She gathers spiritual energy in her palm, ready to strike. And then everyone freezes, because instead of crushing Qin Chen, the green ox plants both front legs on his shoulders. Oh, Qin Chen gets knocked flat onto the ground. And the next second, the beast starts licking his face. Yup, not killing him, not trampling him, licking him. Like an oversized emotional support cow that just found its long-lost owner. Qin Chen immediately shouts, "Shut up! If you keep licking me, I'll skin you and turn your hide into a coat." The green ox lets out another proud little moo, then starts rubbing itself against Qin Chen's chest like a giant puppy. At this point, the entire crowd is spiritually offline. Jing Yuan and the others nearly died catching this thing. 2 guards got packed up for it. And now this terrifying spirit beast is acting like somebody's clingy pet. This is beyond weird. This is cultivation gaslighting. Qin Chen sits up and starts scolding it. Zio Kang, why didn't you listen to the orders of your 18th generation ancestor and stay in Abyss Valley? Why did you run out on your own? The green ox lowers its voice and starts acting pitiful. Bro is literally playing the victim card after getting caught. Qin Chen keeps roasting it. Stop pretending. You got captured because you ran around playing too much, didn't you? Now you're here acting wronged. I nearly turned Abyss Valley upside down looking for you. And the beast just keeps rubbing against him, fully committed to denying all charges. At this point, everybody watching has turned into statues, especially Jing Yuan's group, because they finally realized the horrifying truth. The beast they nearly died capturing belongs to Qin Chen, or more accurately, recognizes Qin Chen as family. That is such a nasty plot twist. Qin Chen finally stands up, pats Zio King on the head, and says not to worry. The people who bullied you, I'll help you get justice. Then he turns toward Yiziking and says it as casually as asking for tea. Yiziking, kill that Jing Yuan guy for me. Right? Kill him. Yiziking just stands there for a second. Because moments ago he told her not to move. Now suddenly he's issuing kill orders like she's already on payroll. Qin Chen sees her hesitating and immediately says it again. What are you standing there for? You are not listening to my order? She bites her lip in frustration. This man is impossible. But despite that, she still steps forward and charges straight toward Jing Yuan. Now Jing Yuan is the one panicking. He shouts at Yiziking, asking what she thinks she's doing. Does she really want to start conflict between the Yi family and the Wang family over some brat? Qin Chen's response? Kill. No debate, no diplomacy, no policy meeting. He just looks at Zio King and mutters that anyone who dares bully his Zio King deserves to die. And Zio King responds with the most hyped moo imaginable. Now here is the thing. Yiziking is no longer the same person from before. She has already broken into the 3rd level of Spirit Sea. On top of that, her 9 revolutions exquisite body has awakened. Her overall strength has undergone a complete transformation. So when she clashes head-on with Jing Yuan, who is at the 4th level of Spirit C, she is not at a disadvantage at all. Meanwhile, the stone warriors are still surrounding everybody else and slaughtering them without hesitation. So the battlefield turns into total chaos. And what is Qin Chen doing during all this? Sitting on a rock, watching, petting Xiao King. This man is so relaxed it is actually disrespectful. Then the chapter gives us the real background on Xiao King. This little guy is not just any spirit beast. It is a dark azure kiwi ox, a rare beast carrying a trace of the bloodline inheritance of the divine beast kiwi ox. Once fully grown, its power becomes absolutely terrifying. Back in the distant past, when Qin Chen stayed here, he captured one dark azure kiwi ox and placed a special seal on it called the Life-Turning World Seal. This seal stays with the beast for life and can even pass through its bloodline to future generations. So the Xiao King in front of him is not the exact same beast from tens of thousands of years ago, but the power of that inherited seal remains. That means the instant Qin Chen released the seal's aura, Xiao King recognized him. Not by face, not by memory, by bloodline destiny. Basically, from the moment it was born, its blood had been waiting for him to return. That is actually crazy. Qin Chen then speaks softly to it. So many tens of thousands of years have passed, but I am still me. And you in this life, will you replace your ancestor and stay by my side? Xiao King gets so excited it starts wagging its tail. Ness, its tail. Qin Chen immediately roasts it again. Looking at you now, you do not resemble a dark azure kiwi ox at all. You look more like a dog, and somehow that only makes Xiao King wag its tail even harder. This beast has completely accepted the dog allegations. Then right at that moment, bang, a figure suddenly flies over and crashes face first into the ground. Head down, mouth full of mud. And yes, somebody just got folded in spectacular fashion. If this reunion between Qin Chen and his spirit beast had you grinning like a villain who just found his overpowered mount again, go ahead and subscribe before the next chapter drops even more chaos. Alright, the chaos in the valley has officially ended. Jing Yuan has just been folded, the mercenaries and alliance fighters have been wiped out by Qin Chen's stone warriors, and the so-called young master Wang Yu is now nothing more than a very unfortunate decoration on the mountainside. Right now, the only person still standing there alive and miserable is Jing Yuan himself barely. He's lying on the ground covered in wounds, blood everywhere, looking like someone who just got run over by a spirit beast stampede. Qin Chen walks over slowly and looks down at him. Then he says something with that calm, almost bored tone. Next time wipe the dog eyes on your face clean before you offend someone. Not everyone is someone you can provoke. That line lands harder than any punch. But Jing Yuan is still stubborn. Even while bleeding out, he grits his teeth and spits out a threat. You dead! The Wang family will know about this. Qin Chen, you dared provoke the Wang family of the imperial capital. You will definitely die. Classic villain last words. And then smack. Before he can even finish the sentence, Xiao King suddenly stomps a hoof down. The sound echoes like someone slapping a watermelon. Jing Yuan's head instantly swells, blood spraying everywhere. The whole scene looks painful. Qin Chen turns and looks at Xiao King with mild dissatisfaction. Next time, can you be a little more civilized? Xiao King's huge ox eyes immediately fill with tears, like a giant emotional cow that just got scolded. Qin Chen sighs. Alright, you talk too much anyway. Fine, I won't scold you. Meanwhile, the rest of the battlefield has already been cleaned up. The stone warriors finish their work efficiently. One after another, the remaining enemies fall. Over on the mountainside, Wang Yuan watches everything happen. He watches Jing Yuan die. He watches everyone else get slaughtered. And finally his own body is pierced by the blades surrounding him. His eyes remain wide open, full of disbelief. Because even until the last moment, he never believed someone would dare kill him. The young master of the Wang family. But Qin Chen never cared. Over here, Yi Ziking slowly sheaths her sword and walks back. She doesn't say anything. Her expression is calm, but her eyes are clearly observing Qin Chen more carefully than ever. Then Qin Chen suddenly looks at her and casually says something strange. You're not really suited to practice swordsmanship. Yi Ziking pauses. Instead, a whip suits you better. Now she is completely confused. Why a whip? What kind of random career advice is that? But Qin Chen doesn't bother explaining. For him, the matter here is already finished. Alright, things here are done. He stretches slightly and says he needs to return to his clan. There are still a few troubles waiting to be handled. Then he looks at Yi Ziking one more time and repeats his earlier warning. The poison of the 9 nether-armed scorpion cannot be cured with a heavenly fire spirit crystal. After saying that, Qin Chen simply jumps onto Xiao King's back. No ceremony, no dramatic goodbye. just casually rides away out of the valley like he owns the place. Which technically he kind of does. Yiziking watches him leave silently. Behind her, Elder Ku slowly walks over, still shocked. Miss, who exactly is that young man? Yiziking answers calmly. Qin Chen, third young master of the Qin family in Ling City. Then she pauses and asks Elder Ku a strange question. Well, how does he taste? Of course, she doesn't mean literally. She means the feeling Qin Chen gives. Elder Ku understands immediately. Miss, after we return I will gather every piece of information about Qin Chen. Yiziking nods. That? We're leaving. At this moment, Yu Liang suddenly panics. What? Mrs. Place is filled with heavenly treasures. It's basically a treasure vault. Are we really just walking away? Yiziking immediately turns and gives him a cold stare. If you think your life is long enough, then stay here and keep exploring. That one sentence instantly shuts him up. Because everyone here just witnessed what happens when you wander around this place without Qin Chen. That guaranteed. This place is terrifying, but somehow Qin Chen is even more terrifying. Meanwhile, far away from the valley, Qin Chen is slowly riding Xiao King back toward Ling City. He takes a deep breath and begins organizing his thoughts. This trip has already pushed his cultivation to the 8-gate Jing Gate stage. That alone means the trouble from the 3 great families should be manageable. His father and second uncle should soon break through to the 9-gate Heaven Gate stage after consuming the Yuan gathering pills he prepared. His second brother's injuries will also be solved with a heavenly fire spirit crystal. Once those issues are handled, it will be time to leave Ling City and head for the imperial capital. 2 names immediately appear in his mind. Shu Ningxi, Ling Tian. The people who caused the suffering of this body, he will never forget them. Every bit of pain they inflicted, he will return it 10 times, 100 times. Qin Chen then looks down at Xiao King with mild annoyance. You're too slow. At this speed, it'll take 3 days for us to reach Ling City. Xiao King lets out a proud moo. Then suddenly, whoosh, the green ox explodes into motion like a green lightning bolt. What normally takes half a day, they cover in less than 2 hours. Soon the massive gates of Ling City appear ahead. Qin Chen stretches lazily and lies back on Xiao King's back. All right, into the city. And just like that, a young man rides a green ox straight into Ling City. Now imagine the scene from the perspective of the city residents. Cultivators usually ride fierce beasts. Tigers, wolves, leopards, ferocious mounts that look terrifying. But here comes the third young master of the Qin family riding a cow. A green cow. The entire street bursts into laughter. People point, whisper, mock. Look at that Qin Chen riding a cow like a farmer. The former genius of Ling City downgraded to cattle transportation. But Qin Chen doesn't care at all. Meanwhile, inside the most luxurious restaurant in Ling City, Ling Pavilion. This is the biggest and most extravagant restaurant in the entire city. Only nobles, wealthy clans, and powerful figures come here. Inside one of the private rooms, 4 young men are sitting together drinking wine. They represent the 4 major clans: Ling family, Shu family, Chen family, and the Lin family. One of them, Ling Du, is talking confidently. The Ling family has already arranged everything. The only mistake before was Qin Chen surviving, but now the Ming family from Changshan County has joined the plan. The Qin family will definitely be destroyed. Another young man nods. Yes, if Qin Chen is not eliminated quickly, things may become troublesome. Lin Yuyuan's face turns dark. My brother and sister were killed by Qin Chen. That debt will be repaid. They continue drinking and laughing. To them, Qin Chen is already a dead man, because the Ling family has already sent out their secret force, the Ling Tian guards, elite warriors who crawled out of blood and slaughter. The moment those words are mentioned, even the others feel a chill, because everyone knows the Ling family's strength does not come only from their patriarch. The Ling Tian guards are their hidden blade. Ling Du smirks confidently. Qin Chen probably already died somewhere in the Lingyun mountains. The 4 of them raise their wine cups and laugh loudly. They truly believe the Qin family's destruction is already decided. But right at that moment, a loud voice suddenly comes from outside the room. Let me tell you something, Du Siyuan. My brother Qin Chen is the greatest genius in Ling City. Even if that old dog Ling Shicheng stole his star gate, he is still the greatest genius. Trash like Ling Tian and Chu Ningxi are nothing in front of brother Chen. Hearing those words, the smiles on the 4 young masters instantly freeze. Because someone just walked into the lion's den and started roasting every single one of them. Alright, this chapter kicks off inside Lingen Pavilion, and the vibe is already messy. Outside one of the private rooms, Qin Chen is stumbling around drunk while Du Siyun tries his absolute best to keep this man from embarrassing himself into another dimension. Ever since Saint Zinyu left Lingyan City and returned to the imperial capital, Du Siyun and his father have been living in pure stress mode. What? Because Saint Zinyu made it crystal clear that if anything happened to Qin Chen, their heads were basically on a limited time subscription. So every single day, Du Siyun has been running to the Qin family asking whether Qin Chen has returned yet. And because of all that back and forth, he and Qin Chen have gotten pretty close. Now today, Qin Chen has had a little too much to drink. Actually, a lot too much. So while Du Siyun is trying to guide this walking disaster toward the restroom, Qin Chen starts yapping in full drunk confidence mode. He's out here loudly declaring that Brother Chen is still the greatest genius in all of Lingyan City, that Ling Shichang is an old dog, and that Ling Tian and Chu Ningxi are complete trash in front of Qin Chen. Bro is basically drunk, posting out loud in public. Du Siyun is panicking. Wrong way, the restroom is over there, but before they can escape, disaster shows up. The door of a private room gets kicked open so hard it explodes into pieces. Wood fragments fly everywhere and hit both Qin Chen and Du Siyun. Qin Chen instantly starts cursing. Who the hell is blind? And from inside the room, a cold voice answers. Oh, I was wondering who had such a filthy mouth. So it's that useless Qin family fatty. The person stepping out is Ling Du, and the second Qin Chen sees him, some of the alcohol leaves his body immediately. Because standing inside that room are not random nobodies. It's the young elites of the four great families. Ling Du, Lin Yuan, Shu Qingming, Shen Qiuo. Basically the deluxe box set of bad intentions. Ling Du starts mocking Qin Chen right away, telling him to look at himself and asking since when Qin Chen became the greatest genius of Lingyan City. Without a star gate, what is Qin Chen even supposed to be? Then he calls Qin Chen nothing more than Qin Chen's lapdog. That line hits hard. Qin Chen, half drunk and half scared, immediately starts stammering. What do you want? Ling Du's answer is simple. Today you're going to pay for that mouth. Slap yourself and get the hell out of Lingyan Pavilion. At that point, Du Siyun steps in, and honestly respect to him, because this man knows exactly how dangerous this is, but he still tries to protect Qin Chen. He says Qin Chen is just drunk and talking nonsense. Can they please let it go for his sake? Now this could have de-escalated things. But Lin Yuan jumps in and makes it worse instantly. He looks at Du Siyun and basically says, for your sake, who even are you? Then he says self-slapping would already be letting Qin Chen off lightly. In fact, they should just chop off one of his arms and throw him outside. Yo, these people are not playing. Du Siyun gets angry and tells Lin Yuan not to go too far. And Lin Yuan immediately hits back with that classic bully line. If I go too far, what are you going to do about it? And here's the ugly part. Right now, the Ling family, Lin family, Chu family, and Chen family have already formed an alliance. They're so confident they don't even care about the Dan Pavilion anymore. Plus, in their eyes, Du Siyun is just a teenager. They do not take him seriously at all. Then Qin Chen finds a little courage and blurts out that Brother Chen will definitely come back, so they should stop interfering. Ling Du laughs. Come back? The Ling family has already sent more than 10 Ling Tian guards to kill Qin Chen. You can just wait and collect his corpse. The moment Du Siyun hears that, his heart drops, because he knows exactly who the Ling Tian guards are. These are not normal family guards. These are the Ling family's hidden killers, the kind of people who crawled out of blood and murder. No wonder Qin Chen said he would be back in 10 days, but now more than 10 days have passed with no sign of him. Du Siyun instantly realizes the situation is far worse than he thought. He glares at Ling Du and says the Ling family has caused a disaster beyond measure. Then he grabs Qin Chen and tries to leave. But of course the villains are not done yet. Lin Yuan steps forward in one stride and grabs Qin Chen. Trying to leave? Stay right here. Du Siyun turns back and throws out a palm strike. But let's be real, he is way too young and way too weak compared to Lin Yuan. Du Siyun is only at the 5-gate stage. Lin Yuan is at the 8-gate Jing gate stage. That is not a fight. That is a child trying to tackle a brick wall. But Du Siyun gets knocked straight to the floor. Lin Yuan does not even use full strength. After all, Du Siyun is still the son of Master Du Ji, so he only pushes him back. Then Lin Yuan grabs Qin Chen and says something truly vicious. Qin Chen killed my younger brother and younger sister. Today I'll kill you, Qin Chen. So he learns the Lin family is not someone he can provoke. Then he attacks. His hand turns into a claw, and that strike is absolutely enough to kill Qin Chen on the spot. But right at that moment, something unexpected happens. Qin Chen somehow breaks free and throws a punch. Tiger Roar form. It's the fourth move from the Tiger Roar Dragon Chant Fist that Qin Chen casually taught him a few days earlier. Now Qin Chen is nowhere near Lin Yuan's level, so let's not act like he suddenly became the main character. The punch lands with a loud boom and Qin Chen immediately pays the price. His face turns white. Blood sprays from his mouth. His arm snaps with a crack, and his fat body smashes through the corridor wall and falls straight from the second floor. It is a full ragdoll situation. He crashes down in agony, dizzy, nauseous, arm broken, entire body screaming, and then through his blurry vision, he sees a figure standing in front of him. Straight posture, a handsome pale face, white robe with golden trim, and sitting on the back of a green ox. Qin Chen! Qin Chen is so delirious he thinks he's hallucinating. Oh no, I'm done for. I'm about to die. I can even see Brother Chen's ghostly image. Then he starts wailing dramatically, saying that if he dies, Qin Chen has to avenge him. Then he panics again and says, wait, the Ling Tian guards are chasing you too, so don't tell me you died as well. Brother Chen, are we both going to the underworld together? This man is absolutely losing it. Then suddenly a familiar voice cuts through the noise. Why are you yelling about death and not death? Qin Chen freezes. He rubs his eyes, looks again, and realizes that is not a hallucination. That is actually Qin Chen. Brother Chen? Then this grown man instantly starts crying like a child. Brother Chen, if you didn't come back soon, I was really going to die. Then you'd never see your cute little brother again. He starts snitching at maximum speed. Ling Du said you were killed by the Ling Tian guards. Ling Yuan wanted to kill me. If you hadn't taught me Tiger Roar form, I'd already be a corpse. He's crying, shouting, and reporting like a one-man emergency press conference. Qin Chen gets annoyed and kicks him. You want that arm or not? Qin Chen answers immediately. Yes, now that is motivation. Qin Chen looks down and notices the stone ground has actually been smashed into a deep pit from the fall. A cold flash of killing intent passes through his eyes. Then he grabs Qin Chen's broken arm. Let me see. Qin Chen instantly starts screaming. Pain, pain, pain. There with it. Crack. Qin Chen snaps the bones back into place. Qin Chen nearly faints on the spot, eyes rolling upward. Then Qin Chen shoves a spirit pill straight into his mouth. The moment it enters his stomach, powerful medicinal energy spreads through Qin Chen's body and rushes into his broken arm. And just like that, the healing begins. So while the four little aristocrat clowns upstairs were busy drinking and talking like Qin Chen was already dead, the man himself has just ridden back into the city on a cow, caught them bullying his boy, and arrived exactly on cue. Yet the storm at the restaurant has officially started. And if this chapter had you grinning because the comeback timing was cleaner than a perfect movie entrance, go ahead and subscribe before Qin Chen turns this whole restaurant into a public humiliation event.